So I have kind of a problem, I got to admit to you guys here at the moment. I first played the Druid, okay? When I played the Druid, I'm like, okay, it's a slow start, but, it feels good. Like, I like the Druid. Then I played the Necromancer, and I was like, wow, like, the Necromancer actually feels, like, surprisingly good. Like, the damage is good. It seems to destroy a lot of things with the Bow and Spear. I'm actually, like, pretty pleasantly surprised, okay? And I felt pretty good about that. All right, then I played the Hardcore Sorcerer, and I thought to myself, man, I might be wrong. Hardcore is actually really fun. Like, I can see why people actually like Hardcore, all right? Then I started playing the Rogue, because I wanted to see, a lot of my friends were playing the Rogue. I want to see, okay, what's the deal with the Rogue? Why is everyone and their mom playing a Rogue? And you know what I found out? I found out that the Rogue is so mind-blowingly good in terms of how early it is that the damage actually good, that gets good. How quickly you can move around the map, okay? How fun it is to actually play, how accessible it is to actually do. I mean, look at this. I have some legendaries, okay? And most of these are just random ones. You only really need a few legendaries. And that the boss damage is so unbelievable, okay, that doing the strongholds, doing the dungeons, doing all of these things are so much faster. I mean, look, the boss is already dead just doing it. It's so much faster that now I understand that when I was playing these other classes in the beginning of the game, and I don't really get why my friends are blowing past me, just leveling faster, doing the content faster, getting through the campaign faster. I mean, my friend Velcha beat the campaign at level 31. I wasn't getting, I'm seeing her, the Druid, just pounding my head against the brick wall that is progression of the Druid. And then I pick up the Rogue, and due to the fact that this Twisting Blades is so good early with the poison, I'm just shredding literally everything. And then I have the mobility on top of it, and the class is actually fun. I'll be honest, I almost felt stupid for playing the Druid from the beginning. I'm not trying to say the Rogue is OP, okay? Because I know there's other mechanics, like I know they're fairly squishy, I know there's downsides to the Rogue, okay? And to be honest, actually from the beginning, I tried the barrage instead. I was like, let me try the bow. I want to be the bow guy. So I did like the Heart Seeker, and I kind of went through the barrage, etc. But even without me like Googling a build and then trying to min-max whatever, I just went and was like, okay, well now let me try the daggers. I know Twisting Blades are pretty good. So my buddy Velshot play this next to me. Picked up that, added in the poison, added in the obvious passives. I'm sure I got tons of this wrong. I think people use Shadow Step. I'm using Dash or whatever. But it almost didn't matter. All I needed was the combination of basically Poison Imbuement. I needed the combination of Twisting Blades that orbits me. And then I needed a little bit of Lucky Hit Chance. Shadow Step for the boss. That's all I really needed. That's about it. And there's this combo that when you have a pool of toxicness below you, you can continue to reapply your poisons over and over and over again. So you can spam your poisons, which does the damage over time. Then you do the Inner Sight, which will give you unlimited energy, okay, for 4 seconds. So you can spam nonstop Poison Imbuement with stop Twisting Blades, and you just get this effect of just constantly just draining the damage just ridiculously fast. Here, I'll demonstrate it on the World Boss. All right, here we go, World Boss time. So effectively what I'm going to do is going to get marked. We're going to try to get the infinite energy. We're going to use poison, okay? So here we go. We got poison going. And now the twirling of the blade goes on around us, and we can keep doing more poisons because of the poison pool. And now we have infinite energy, right? So what we're going to do is Shadow Clone here. We're going to try to spam the energy when we get the infinite energy, and then we keep spamming the poison imbue. And the damage is just really, really, really good. But it kind of gets worse or better depending upon how you look at it. From what I understand, and from the people I've asked, because as soon as I started feeling this way, I'm like, guys, I'm only level 47, and I feel the strongest that I have ever felt on any character at any point. I'm talking right now, I feel stronger than my level 100 Druid. I'm not saying, obviously, the Druid hits more damage, but I'm saying in terms of the mobs I'm killing versus the power that I feel, I feel like the GOAT when I'm playing the Rogue. And I'm doing it from having like one legendary two legendaries that actually matter. The Poison Imbued Puddle that you lay that you kind of need. And then other than that, your Twisting Blades. I mean, the other ones, yeah, sure, they'll do something, but they don't really, it's not really, it's like two legendaries and then GG, you're a god, basically, which is a completely different experience. Like I needed uniques, I needed full build, I needed somewhat good secondaries. And on the rogue, it's like, I just throw on literally whatever. Who cares? Because I don't even need the extra damage of getting the right stats because I just kill everything literally anyway. And from what I hear in the late game, it actually just gets better. Like, people are telling me, yeah, he never actually falls off. I was doing this on live stream. You should come by the live streams. We have like thousands of people now at this point. It's actually getting insane. And it's just super fun, okay? I came into this with a very fresh perspective. I saw my friends playing it, but I didn't go watch a bunch of builds. I was just like, let me just see what the rogue's like. I started with the bow, and I was like, okay, barrage feels kind of okay. Heartseeker, kind of whatever, you know? And now I'm like, let me see this twisting blades thing that I know has been nerfed a million times that everyone's talking about. And it just felt so good that I was just like, damn it. So I have really 2 points in this video. One is, if you want to play the rogue, because the rogue is super fun. Like, it's super fun. The twisting blades feel super good. I feel like I'm going through the content the quickest out of any of the classes I've ever played, and it actually feels ridiculous. And number 2 is, I have now changed my mind. I no longer believe that after playing, I've played, you know, all the classes except Barbarian now, they're about 50. And at that point, I'm now experienced, there's a giant gap in the early game where some classes feel really good and fun in the early game, and some classes feel miserable in the early game. I originally believed that you got to kind of have a bad early so that the late game makes sense. I no longer believe that, because the whole point of the Diablo games typically is into the late game is sort of where you're grinding the gear, and everyone should be strong at the late game. Like, if there's no class that is, if there's a class, basically is a better way of saying, if there's a class that's bad in the late game, it's a problem. Because why would you pick a class in Diablo game where you're like, oh, it's good until you get to the part that matters? Like, that's just, I think it was a dumb opinion by me early. So now what I'm realizing is there is no reason for me to feel like I should have a bad experience early so that I can have a good experience late. And I believe this rogue has made me feel that acutely because of how good the game now feels, just ripping through the content, destroying stuff, you know, shredding the bosses. It almost feels too easy. Now, if I was playing hardcore, this would probably be a different conversation. Rogue feels really squishy. I'm dying all the time because it's a skill issue, and I just need to get good, basically. But in terms of like actually just shredding through the content, the Rogue feels phenomenal. The Necromancer was feeling phenomenal. I'm having multiple classes now. When I play them, I'm just like, this just feels good to play, man. And coming from Druid, where it's like, I feel like it takes me a bit to actually get the build, and then everyone's having problems even getting the Tempest Roar helmet, all of these issues, and the Pulverized Shockwave, and having problems getting the right aspects. This character, the Rogue, has the actual GOAT in terms of aspects, like by like Act 2. You can basically get this dungeon down, and you can get this aspect. So I see a lot of people running Rogue coming into Season 1, and I see a lot of people probably enjoying the Rogue from the minute they start the game, and I probably see a lot of people having completely different experiences with how they actually feel about the game if they're playing Rogue as compared to some of the other classes that maybe have a slower start. So what I've learned from Rogue is that actually it wasn't even about the Rogue, it was about the other classes. And I feel like my time playing the other classes, I feel it's more painful now having experienced what, in my opinion, is just a completely fun, completely strong, highly mobile, just very enjoyable level 1 to 50 class. Maybe at 50 plus, I'm going to keep playing the Rogue and see what it looks like at the higher levels. But the 1 to 50 experience feels borderline flawless as a Rogue. With that being said, come on by the live streams. I will be live 11 a.m. PST every day. It's Darth Microtransaction. You can find it in the pinned comment. All right, bye-bye, everybody.